Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
What's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey, you guys. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in on this podcast. Of course, it's 1:31 a.m. Monday morning, and I'm just here just recording and giving you guys the inner thoughts. I had someone DM me the other day, and she let me know that she's been watching me, from the minute I've been in college. She was a peer, of course, and she was like, "Listen, man, I'm proud of your work, and I'm proud of your work ethic." And it sent shockwaves down my body because she sent that like early a.m. around like 7 a.m. And shout out to you, by the way, if you listen to this. But it really made me feel good about myself. And that was the other day, and I don't know, I needed that. You know how sometimes you don't know what you need until you actually get it. Like, damn, they actually hit the spot. You get me? And I was very much thankful and grateful for that compliment because she didn't have to write that out, let alone let it be a paragraph. Early a.m., sending a DM, it made me feel good about myself, and I want to say I thank you for that, and I want to share that experience with you guys because when people acknowledge your work ethic and people recognize your accomplishments, and they bring a great deal of light to it, not only does it bring you a feeling of satisfaction, but also a feeling of appreciation that people are out there watching you and you are inspiring and motivating people that you may not know you're motivating or inspiring. And that's what I always make sure I always speak into existence and let you guys know. Someone's always watching you. Someone's always going to be talking about you. Someone's always in your business. They may not like your photo. They may not be in your story your story views. They may not comment, but they're watching. And a lot of people fall victim to letting that get into their head. Oh, no one's supporting me and all that, and it's okay. But I don't want you guys to undermine nothing in life. You get me? And this episode is pretty much going to be like undermining. I don't like when people undermine the boss. I don't like when people undermine the worker. I don't like when people undermine the price. I don't like when people undermine the word free. And the reason I say these things is because, for instance, like the word free and undermining that, some people may want to learn a very profitable skill, such as real estate or information technology or anything else that's related to like profitable skills. And a person might be hosting a free seminar, class, meeting, convention, networking event, and a lot of people won't attend because they feel like the word free means diluted. They feel like the word free means there's not going to be as much information or detail being exposed, which is not necessarily true because you have questions you can ask. You have people you can meet. You have experiences you got to experience. You got me? That free word is just something that allows everybody to have a starting basis to see if this is something you want to start investing into later down the line. Because free might not always be free today. Free today might be costly tomorrow. So I'm telling people all the time, like, what do you think is going to be free today that's not going to be free tomorrow? And people be like, oh, well, gas prices I'm like, no, everything you see, what is free today but won't be free tomorrow? And everybody is like sitting around, and I'm just like, freedom. And people are like, what do you mean freedom is free? I'm like, sooner or later, it's not going to be free because it's going to cost you to work. Technology changing, society's changing, the financial market is changing, how we deal with business is changing. So change means different things are going to be shifted around, right? That means if you don't put yourself in position now, you're just going to be caught in that wave. You're going to be caught in that tide. And that same free event that you could have went to months ago, weeks ago, years ago, you could have met someone that could have changed your life for the better, and you could have not been in that position. You could have been prepared for the future, right? And I emphasize that not only to my young women, to my young brothers, and to the older crowd as well, the OGs, everybody, how you want to call them. Don't undermine the word free. Hey, man, come out to this free networking event. There's going to be some good people out there I want you to meet. I'm going to see. Yo, pull up to the lounge, bro. It's $40 to get in, but shit, it's going to be some baddies in there. Say less, bro. What y'all wearing? See the difference in the conversation? It's like, bro, this is a free event. Imagine if the club owner was here and he got you guys spending money at his club while he's still here at the free event, still networking, right? I think people just think outside. Well, people think inside the box. People who think outside the box, we learn that we can't cultivate our thinking into making it normal for everybody, right? So what one person might see as crazy, like you going to a networking event and this is a party today and it's going to be everybody there. You can't really convince that person to think how you would think because a networking event might be boring, but they undermine that recruiters might be there. They might get their next job offering there. They might learn something new. So it's like, I never undermine anything. Another example of undermining relationships and people. You get me? And this is just more so from the women, man. Like a lot of women, they do this. And I see it all the time, man. It's so sad, but I just kind of shake my head and walk off. I notice a lot of women in the past and now as well. And this in movies and everything, you know, they kind of look at the guy who don't have anything as a backup, right? Let me just see if he's going to get his life together. But right now, he's not where he need to be at. I'm not going to go for him. But this guy probably could be putting together a fucking master plan that's going to get him rich in less than 6 months to a year. But you're judging him off his current situation. You're right. You're undermining his intelligence. You're undermining his capabilities. So what happens next? He puts the plan together. He ducks off. You don't see him. A few years later, he's this very rich man. Everything you thought about him is false. You thought he was shy. He's very outspoken. He thought he couldn't dress. He just didn't have money. He thought he didn't have no money. Like he just was just trying to figure out life. But you judged him prematurely. And now you undermine that relationship you could have had with him that he obviously wanted to have with you and everything because you put him in the back burner. Now you want that relationship. Now you want that stability. Now you want that comfort. Now you think he probably is the guy for you because you guys see each other again. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people, once you show somebody your true colors when they don't have anything, it's kind of hard to show somebody a different side of you when you notice what they really have. You get me? It's like somebody's treating the boss who's rich as hell rude when they don't know he's the boss and they think he's a normal customer. And when they find out he's a boss, their demeanor changes. You get me? I get a lot of people who act like that, not only with me, but with situations in life. You know, I see this all the time. I see people undermine relationships like, oh, man, that person can't help me. And the whole time, that person is the plug. That person knows everybody, but you undermining this person's potential, this person's, like, communication skills, this person's reach. And you kind of make things a lot harder for yourself when you don't open yourself up to new opportunities, don't open yourself up to new ways of engaging with society, and also just being a person who's being transparent with the things you want and want to achieve in life. You get me? And when you're trying to undermine certain situations, you're pretty much not giving the faith into those situations, and you pretty much just having a negative connotation to it. You know, I feel like undermining the underdog is what gets people beat by the team that never won a national championship, but the team that got beat won back-to-back state champs, got all the best recruits. I feel like the team that undermined the guy who can't shoot the ball because he never scored no points in his first 2-3 games, you guys play him and he dropped 40 on you. He has a perfect game on you because you undermining his skills those previous games. You undermine him prematurely. Same thing goes for time. Everybody say, oh, tomorrow, man, I told myself it ain't no such thing as tomorrow. It's not promised. And we all know that. Bro, I'm going to tell y'all some real shit. My dad, right? Before he died and everything like that, RIP to him, real solid dude, you feel me? I love him. He always used to call me and be like, listen, call me. All right? Like, you don't really know when I'm going to die, or just call me, man. I just love hearing your voice and everything like that. And, yeah, I was calling him and everything like that. I was making sure I called him more, because on my goals this year, for some odd reason, I just talk to my family 3-4 times weekly, because I was usually talking to them twice a week, which was very bad. That sounds bad, you guys, right? But I was talking to them. And the conversation was very brief and short. How you doing? I'm doing good. Okay, cool. Boom, boom, boom. Spoke to my dad, spoke to my mom, spoke to my sister, and everybody went their ways. But now, since my dad passed away, and I undermined the amount of time that I had, I'm like, no, I'm finna see him by my birthday. I'm going down to Miami for my birthday. I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna see him before my birthday. Everything's gonna be cool. I'm gonna buy him some cologne. I'm starting to do really good in real estate now. I want to buy him something nice, and let's start appreciating him, because I did something nice for mom already. I didn't get a chance to do anything nice for him, and I undermined the amount of time that I had left with him, because he called me, bro. Like, he literally called me a few weeks before. He was like, listen, like, I need you to call me every day, all right? And I was like, yeah, I got you, man. He was like, listen, call me, okay? Not knowing that that was his cue of just saying, bro, listen, I don't think I got much time. So what I'm saying is, I go through a lot of situations where I lost my sister. That happened out of nowhere. Like, we just thought she was just going to be back at the house. Like, she was just doing her thing. And we got a phone call saying she died. It happened in a split second. A kid next to me that was sitting in my class, bro, I forgot his name and everything like that. Well, I do know his name. I just didn't want to butcher or anything like that. But it's a few people, bro. But this guy is, like, specifically real cool guy, bro. Sitting next to me in class, always come late, had everybody laughing and everything. Killed next day. You get me? Well, he was killed that same day, and then the seat next to me was empty. It just felt weird. Like, I was just looking at the door to see what time he was going to come in, because he usually come in late. You give me 30, 40 minutes late, and he didn't show up. And then people in class just started talking about it. I was like, yo, XYZ just got killed last night, blah, blah, blah. They confirmed it. And I'm sitting there looking at the door, and I'm sitting looking at the seat, and I'm like, damn, I just clapped this man up yesterday, bro. I just talked to this man. Like, I literally said, what's up to this man? This man was good, bro. Like, I literally said, what's up to this man and all, not knowing that was going to be his last day, not knowing that was going to be the last time I was going to speak to him. I undermined the amount of times I put time into real estate, not knowing how far it was going to get me today. I'm talking about books I bought. I'm talking about just being in the field, just being observant, just talking about, like, just raising money for people. I'm talking about just really working my ass off, busting my ass, putting together plays, looking at houses, doing all this XYZ, traveling, driving, burning gas. I'm talking about everything. I undermined that amount of work I put in, but that was a good undermine, because the outcome was better now. You get me? The outcome was way better than I anticipated, because I was never in it for money. I was in it for freedom. I don't give a fuck about no money, because you could give me $100. You give me $100,000 right now, and I could blow it, right? Because it just has a value to it. But if I got $100,000 come in every month without me ever having to touch it, I then bought myself freedom. But I can't undermine the steps that's going to get me there, because the only thing you have to worry about is learning the information. And I learned that in life. I'm turning 26 real soon, 9/11. Shout out to me, Virgo. Yes, sir. And the biggest thing I ever learned was, like, you can't undermine yourself. You can't undermine time. You can't undermine relationships. You can't undermine behaviors. You can't undermine nothing. Because there was many times where I kind of turned a blind eye and blind cheat to people's behaviors that, I kind of undermined. I undermined it. I was like, nah, it's not a big deal. Nah, they just probably tripping right now. But this was a pattern that I told you, like, I undermined. And it caused me a lot of great havoc, heartbreak, trouble, financial problems with just everything. People I had conversations with in just the regular world, I undermined myself and I gave myself a lower value that made me feel like, oh, bam, I'm the problem. Oh, bam, I'm not worthy enough. Oh, bam. And then when I stopped undermining myself, when I started saying, Moist, you are performing at your maximum capabilities, each day you're growing, you're getting better. I stopped undermining myself and things started working out a lot better. You get me? I feel like people in society make people feel like imposter syndrome is a normal thing. And it's not. I want to say it's not normal to feel like all the time that you just put into this craft that you're still not qualified enough to teach. I feel like that's not normal. I feel like the minute you lay your hands on any type of skill set or any type of trade or any type of industry and you put time, sweat, dedication, and tears into it, you are well over qualified to teach the next person who has no clue about what's going on. And I feel like what needs to happen a lot more is that we need to stop telling ourselves that we can't teach other people, because we can. We taught ourselves. And I know that sounds so cliche, like, oh, not everybody could teach, but I feel like you just undermine yourself again when you say you can't teach somebody what you literally know. You know how crazy that sounds? Like, you know something, but you can't teach it, so you do you really know it? Yeah, I know it. Okay, cool. So you could teach this. Break it down as simple as possible. I could break it down to you. I could break down real estate to you. I could break it down to a 5-year-old because I understand it now. I learned to comprehend it. I learned to enjoy the journey. I learned not to undermine information and knowledge that could be used to me, that could use for me in later dates. I undermined a lot of women too in my past. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of great women who came into my life and I undermined their behaviors that were already wifely. You get me? And I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you. I lost out on good women. I lost out on good friends. But sometimes the lesson has to be learned. And the lesson was learned on both sides. And the lesson that I'm learning in life is just like time is valuable. Stick to your guns. Stand on moral principles. These things that I'm reiterating to myself every day is because I really want to understand, like, the person I am today. I want to keep growing into a better man tomorrow. Therefore, I want to keep being a better person starting now. Well, I've been started, but continuously being a better person. Never undermine the timeline it takes for me to achieve certain goals. You get me? So what I'm saying is, what else do you want in life? What do you want your life to composite of? What do you want someone to look into your life and say, this is who you are, this is what you're about, this is what you created for yourself? I don't want nobody who listens to this podcast to feel like, man, all I am is a nurse and that's all I'm gonna be. Fuck that shit. I already did 4 years of school, another 2 years again. I ain't doing no more. All I'm is a nurse. No, that's not what you are. What do you like to do on the weekends? Oh, I like to pass out food. Okay, cool. So you have a little bit of philanthropy to you. I like that. I rock with that. So you're not just a nurse. No, I'm not. Cool. So let's not create that title saying that's all you are, because you just undermined yourself. You could be an engineer. You could say, you know what? I'm done with nursing. I'm going to be a lawyer next year. And what's stopping you? You're going to say, oh, I can't be a lawyer. You can do anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. There's nobody I never not heard say things weren't possible that made things possible. When things were possible for people, and when things were made possible, and when things became a reality for a lot of people after they went through all the troubles and tribulations, they could reconfirm it to you that the only thing that's going to keep you going is never undermining yourself, never undermining the situation, because you don't know when things are going to turn around. Look at all these rappers, man. Look how they tell you how their life turned around. One day, man, I just dropped a song and it went and blew up. I knew I had it in me. I knew I was going to be big one day. It just wasn't my time yet. Now it's my time. So the same thing I tell everybody all the time. Don't let people undermine your age. Yeah, you 21, you 22, you a boss bitch. Yeah, that's what I'm not saying boss bitch, but boss babe. You feel me? Like you boss lady. You feel me? You doing your thing. Don't let nobody out here control the narrative that you have for your life. If you got to fall out with certain people because that's what it has to take in order for you to achieve your dreams and your ambitions and have that new car and have that new lifestyle, have that family that you want, live that place you want to live, buy that house you always want to dream about living in and buying. You're gonna need to make a lot of sacrifices, and some of them are not going to be tasty or pleasant at all. Some of them might just be heartbreak. Some of them might just be fallout. Some of them might just be over jealousy and envy, but you just can't focus on the negative. You can't focus on what other people have towards you. You can't focus on other people's emotions because that's what they have to deal with. Let them go to sleep with them thinking they don't like you or they don't like you for whatever reason. When you go to sleep, know that your next plan is already in motion. Don't worry about the next man not liking you because now you're getting older and you might be changing your mindset a lot. You change your mindset. You don't hang with the same people. You don't talk the same way. You don't dress the same way. You get me? Now they might understand like you are changing, but who are you to change? So they undermining you, and don't let them undermine you. Don't let people say, "Who are you?" What do you mean, who am I? Who am I? You get me? You don't want to say with a question mark. You're like, you right. Who am I? You get me? You don't ever want to answer that question because it's a sign of disrespect. Don't let nobody tell you you're too young. Don't let nobody tell you too short. Don't let nobody tell you too black. Don't nobody tell you too light skinned, too tall, too big, too skinny, whatever you want to say, too broke, too rich, too smart, too dumb. You could do anything. You could do anything that you put your mind to. You could do anything that you put your faith into. And all you need is the right people, the right energy, and the right alignment. And once you start aligning yourself with like the better things in life, like the people who are meant to be in your life, once you start aligning yourself with like the situations that are meant to play out in your life, like the right situations, I'm not talking about the bad ones, things are going to fall into place, man. It's going to be a beautiful journey. And I use that terminology a lot because it's a journey. You can see yourself from the years before and the pictures that you took before yourself and all the trials and tribulations that you went through and all the lessons and all the people you met. That's a journey, right? Look at all the things look at this quest that you're on to become this person that if you don't become, you just failed because you stopped in your journey. So the journey for you is you have to become the best version of yourself. What's that? Only you know. Can you become rich overnight? Yeah. Can you become wealthy? Yeah. Can you become broke? Yeah. Can things turn around for the better? Yeah. Can a little kid teach a grown man? Yeah. Can a grown man learn from a little kid? Yes. So I'm not telling you guys that things aren't possible, but what I'm saying is there's nothing under God's eye that isn't. So I feel like if you're going to take a chance on your life, if you're going to take a chance on your career, if you're going to take a chance on making an adjustment, not only to your livelihood, but to your financial freedom and security, if you want better out in life, it's okay to ask God for it. And it's okay to, like I said, I don't know who listens to this or what religion you pray to, but whatever God or person, higher up being you pray to, I pray to God. And I ask God all the time, like, just give me perseverance to tackle giant-sized goals, people, and situations. Let all of my heart's desires to be granted and protected, Father God. Thank you. That's one of my mantras in the morning that I say. And, I say that with reasonable, like, confirmation. Like, everything that happened in the past when I say these things, when I continuously to persevere, when I continually don't undermine situations, when I take it for what it is, for face value, things work out better. But it's when I underestimate things that things fuck me up. It's not gonna be that big of a problem. It's a bigger problem now. That dude can't shoot. He's scoring all the points. Man, that house cheap as hell, man. It's gonna be still on the market. That house is worth $255,000. It was worth $80,000 when I could have bought it. Man, that duplex, man, that ain't really no money. That duplex now is generating $2,000 additional income and is worth double than what I would have bought it. Lost out on it. Lost out on $5,000 because I thought I knew everything at the time. I thought I could just take my time with this deal, and I underestimated the amount of time that I actually had to undermine the time. $5,000 that I had to figure out how the fuck I was gonna pay my rent the following week. So all I'm saying is, don't undermine anything that could change your life. Don't undermine anything if you want me to be real. I won't undermine the intelligence of anybody, and I wouldn't undermine the amount of time it takes for something to become a reality or manifest. Your words are very powerful. My words are very powerful. Your thoughts are very powerful. My thoughts are very powerful. So if you're thinking negative, I'm thinking positive, and you're constantly thinking negative and I'm thinking positive, whose life is going to be better? But if you start making positive changes to your life, and then I start going from positive to negative, then whose life starts to get better? You get me? If both of us stay on the positive frequency and we doing great things, then our life continuously gets better over time. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight. But what I'm saying is letting yourself know that there's going to be days where you may not feel like you have it all together. You may not have all the knowledge. You may be nervous. You may be feeling like you can't figure it out. But that's the best. That's the beauty of things, because if I feel like I figured everything out on the first try, then it wouldn't be a reason for me to do things that will scare me. You know, I don't want to do things that won't scare me. I want to do things that I can't sleep at night because it makes me so eager to figure out the answer that I got to figure it out. You know, I got to see if this play gonna hit. I got to see. I got to see if this girl really like me. I got to see how much she feeling me. I got to see if this fit gonna be clean. I got to put this thing on right now. You know, all these things you're excited for, you got to be excited to do things that makes you get up in the morning. You just can't get up in the morning and be like, oh, I got to go to work. Because now you're undermining the privilege you have of a job. You know I'm very spiritual. I know I'm very, what's the word? Literal. I'm literal with everything. I'm practical. I think that's a better word, practical. I was saying literal. I'm a bit practical, you know, so I'm a realist, man. I tell everybody all the time, like, just go with every situation. Do it your best. Be grateful that you're even in a predicament, because there's some people who will wish to be in your predicament. Don't undermine it. Go hard. Make a plan, and then execute. And if it doesn't work, just make another plan. Shit. I mean, like I said, it doesn't come overnight. You might need to go through 100, 200 pieces of notebooks in order to get the right plan put in motion. But you're not going to worry about that when you finally get it in motion, because you're going to look at the journey like, I never gave up. I didn't undermine my intelligence. I didn't undermine that I was going to be able to figure it out. I knew I was going to figure it out, and I figured it out. And once you start having that mindset, you guys, I'm telling you, the world is yours. Just like Scarface had on his I believe that was on his wall or something like that. Big spinning globe, I guess, what it was. The world is yours, you guys. The world is definitely mine. The universe is mine. You know, I speak this into existence. You know, I'm leading armies of men into war, into battle. And the battle is this entrepreneurship. The battle is freeing people's mind, freeing people out the matrix, freeing people out society's confinement of them. You know, people said that they feel like they're confined in masculinity. And I'm like, listen, you just need to tap into your feminine side a little bit to understand both sides of the spectrum. A guy who's too hard for himself can never be on the same alignment as a woman. And a woman who's too feminine for herself can never be on the same alignment as a guy. It has to be divine masculinity, and don't undermine each other's gender. A woman could definitely help a man become great, and a man could definitely help a woman become great in her areas. So I wouldn't undermine women. I wouldn't undermine men because, yes, we want to say women are smarter than guys, but at the end of the day, we both need each other. Like it or not, like we both need each other. And working with the right people will take you to the right places further than you probably could have did on your own. But I also could teach you that relationships are a big thing in life, and if you want to use them, treat them with respect and treat them with gratefulness and treat them with honesty and openness, because not having those is going to cost you a lot of money, going to cost you a lot of problems, and it's going to make your life a living hell. So once again, I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. This was my first podcast, episode in a minute. It's 2:04 a.m. I apologize, guys, if you guys hear me stuttering a little bit, like running over words and blur sentences and everything. Like I said, I'm one of those people who I no longer make edits to my podcast. Like I just be like, fuck it. If you guys want to hear it, you guys hear it. If you guys don't like the episode, to skip on to it. But I kind of lay it all out. I'm not a person I'm not too Hollywood. I'm not too professional. I don't believe in the word professional because I have dreads, nose piercing, hair, like ears pierced and all that good stuff. So I don't really don't care. I feel like it's all about the person and how they move about in life. And I feel like if you have the right intentions, it doesn't matter if you have tattoos on your face. It doesn't matter if you have, for me, like if you were a bad person in a few years ago, now you're a changed person. If you like delivered now, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the right intentions, alignment will fall into place. As long as you have the right energy, things, people, and places will come into your life. And once again, to conclude this episode, man, listen to Road to Billions podcast, rate, review, share this podcast with other people, man. And once again, it's been an amazing journey. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of the night.